right, there we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in on our live stream around the country. I believe we've got some people from Krugersdorp in the house. You look a bit worried that I'm calling you out. Are you embarrassed to be from Krugersdorp? No. Who's from Krugersdorp? A whole bunch of you. Okay. I grew up Western area, then Randfontein. So you my homies. Huh? Western area. Okay, that's where I grew up. Well, at least when I was, I think, 9 years old, we moved to Western area. I had standard 3, standard 4, standard 5. Then my dad moved to Randfontein, but then I was in boarding school already. All right, glad that you came out all the way. I appreciate it. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending about 35 minutes with you as we go through our introductory business presentation. It is going to be a proposal to you. I'm going to invite you to join us in this business. So after the presentation, there will be a decision that has to be made whether you are interested in this business or not. If you have any questions, reserve those for after the presentation. Just go speak to the person that is hosting you, the person that invited you to watch this intro presentation. I'm sure they'll be able to answer any questions that you might have. All right, so let's see. DuePoint. So DuePoint is a business that was formed 3 years ago, but we're part of a business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia has been around since 1952, so for a very long time. We're a registered insurance company, but we're going to be speaking about DuePoint today. I'll touch on a little bit about Constantia later in the presentation, but DuePoint, as I said, founded almost 3 years ago to the month, so February 2016 when we launched the business. A number of factors came together, so let's discuss those because I think that'll give you context as to the relevance of this business. Number one, necessity from an economic and a risk point of view. So you've driven all the way out from Krugersdorp. You've made time during your lunch to watch this presentation. Why? For more money, right? That is the necessity. So it's an economic reason that DuePoint tries to answer. You'll be the judge of that at the end of the presentation. And at the same time, it is mostly, so your necessity is mostly to negate risk factors that we experience or are experiencing in life currently. So we know that the economy is in absolute dire straits, and you will have your own reasons why you want to create additional income for yourselves, but that's a fundamental factor that came together in forming DuePoint. Social entrepreneurship, this is something that is an aspiration of ours as a business. As founders of the business, we wanted to create social impact. In other words, we wanted to have a positive impact on the community that we work within. Right? Not through CSI programs and CSR programs and all those things that corporates undertake. We wanted to create social impact by actually creating wealthy individuals that decide to partner with us in this business. And then finally, better distribution. So a better distribution model for us. Brendan, our head executive, he founded a number of businesses along with his father. So they've got a lot of experience in financial services. And the typical distribution models that they've always followed was through traditional forms of marketing and advertising. If they wanted more business, they would advertise on TV or in the newspaper, those different traditional channels. Here at DuePoint, we've adopted a completely different distribution model in that we want to market our business through word-of-mouth marketing. And that's where you guys come in, because that's where our dependency on you lies. We want you to go out and tell people about DuePoint. Help us build this business for both our interests. And so we're hoping to create better channels of distribution through this partnership that we propose here today. So, how does the business work? Well, as I said, we depend on you to go out and tell people about our business. If you're able to do that, and the people that you connect to this business ultimately become what we call wealth engineers and product owners, that is you creating what we call a channel of distribution for yourself. And that is what creates the income for you. So yes, one of the primary benefit is additional income for yourself. But the nature of the income is very important because this separates us from many other business opportunities. Something that's actually inherent to insurance companies is that we get to create recurring or annuity-based income, and you get to share in that benefit. And this is a massive proponent of mitigating risk, because as employees, or whether you run a small business or even medium business or even large businesses, we are tied into a time constraint. If you want to earn more, you have to work more. Your salary is directly correlated to the 8 hours that you mandated to work every single day, right? 40 hours a week for the month you get paid. But if anything threatens that, if anything threatens your ability to do work, then your income ends, right? So if you get sick and you can't go to work and you run out of sick leave, is your boss going to carry on paying you a salary until you feel better? No. If you get retrenched, if your company goes through some duress and you get retrenched, your income ends. If you get to retirement age, right, you will be retired out of the business. Very few businesses that allow people to work beyond 65. Your income ends in those situations. And so the ability to earn income off of an asset, right, and we'll discuss that a little more in depth, we pay you for the channel of distribution that you build, not for your activity. And so you're not tied to the constraint of activity to produce income. All right, so that's a huge discerning benefit that you need to be aware of in the DuePoint system. Power duplication is just your opportunity to go out and build a team around you. A team can build a channel of distribution much faster than a single individual. And so this is a benefit that you want to leverage as much as possible. Our business is very flexible in the fact that we've adopted technology in the business that allows you to build a channel of distribution from anywhere in the country at any time of the day, because you can literally do it off your mobile phone. So the mobile app we have in place allows you to build your channel of distribution. We don't have printed anything. And so the business is extremely flexible from that point of view. There's no startup capital requirements. We don't have starter kits that you have to buy. We don't have boxes of product that you have to invest in. We've designed the business to have a very low barrier to entry because we're trying to make it as accessible as possible to everybody, and we're trying to design social impact, right, through social entrepreneurship. And so I can't stand up here and do this business proposition, and for you to consider doing this business, there's this element of fear and risk attached to it. Imagine I said this business to get started is 20,000 Rand to get started. I bet 99% of the people would walk out and say, no thanks, not for me. So we've designed it to have very low risk. At the same time, there's no qualifications or experience requirements in our business. You get to build an asset that you have ownership over. Now, this is very important, because the problems arise when we dedicate 45 years of our life, 8 hours a day, to working for somebody else. And what do we have to show for it when we get to retirement? 95% of people can't afford to retire in this country, right? They've spent 45 years working for someone for nothing to show for it. Start investing time into building an asset that you have ownership over. Why? Because it mitigates all those risks that we spoke about. The channel of distribution that you help build here at DuePoint, which creates the recurring income for you, is not going to retrench you. It's not going to retire you. It's not going to say, sorry, we can't pay you because you're sick. You get to build an asset in this business that can potentially grow every single day in this business. How many people got a raise in their salaries every single year for the last 7 years? Not a single person? Don't worry, me neither. Right? That is the risk of employment. People in this business can give themselves a raise every single month. We've seen it happen, right? And so you, for once, have control over your income. So I'm hoping that people will be happy to sacrifice time in their week in building an asset instead of chasing activity-based income all the time. There's no selling involved in our business. So this is something that we've excluded from you completely, right? This mandate, this responsibility to sell. You don't do any selling. This is primarily for regulatory reasons, but it's a wonderful benefit because I would imagine that most of you don't or wouldn't enjoy the prospect of having to go sell and market investment and insurance products over the weekend. At the same time, because our products are financial in nature, it means they're not tangible in nature. We don't have stock and distribution issues. There's no boxes of product that you have to buy. And so just from the product point of view, our business is very convenient to do. But your success is still predicated on your ability to build this thing called the channel of distribution. Like I said, it's you going out and connecting people to this business. So you'll go speak to a whole bunch of people. Some will say no to you, they're not interested. Some will say, yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And the people that say yes and become wealth engineers and product owners in your channel, that's the beginning of your channel of distribution. This is where leverage and the power of duplication can take place. Because the 5 people in this example that you've connected to the business are going to go out and do the same thing. They also want to build channels of distribution. They also want recurring income. Right? And so after a certain amount of time, this is what your channel could look like. Right? So this channel is probably, I don't know, 8 points in size. We calculate each point that grows outward as a point. You're potentially earning off of every single product owner that you see up on the screen. This is the channel of distribution that you build. This is the asset that you have ownership over. This is the asset that pays out recurring income. We call it recurring income because you are very sure of what you're getting paid next month, regardless of your health, regardless of your status, right? And that's the power of recurring income. How do we calculate what we're going to pay our wealth engineers? It's very simple. So this is the mechanics of what we call our returns program. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. But it's dependent on where the product lies in relation to you, right? So the first individuals that you introduce to the business always land on what we call your first point. On your first point, you actually get paid double the R27.50. So you're earning R55 for every product on your first point every month. If you had 10 people on your first point, you would be earning R550 a month. That's R6,000 a year you've just generated for yourself, right? And then when those individuals go out and connect other people into your channel, we call that your second point. And on your second point, you're again earning R55 for every product. So if you had 100 people on your first and second point, you would be earning R5,500 a month out of this business. That's R60,000 a year. Who would like a R60,000 check at the end of every year? Yes, right? Desperately need it now. We say to people, don't take the check in December because you'll spend it, rather take it at the end of January when you need it. And then as your channel starts to grow, you see the multiplier drops as the product gets further away from you. So you see according to the table there, it goes up to 0.8. At 0.8, you're earning 4% of the R27.50, but we don't limit the size of your channel. So we will carry on paying 4% from 0.8 outwards in theory to infinity. There's no limitation on the size of your channel. There's no limitation to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. All right? But people still want to know, well, how much effort is required to build a channel of distribution at DuePoint? How much money can I make? How much money do people make? Right? We're always interested in that. We're trying to create boundaries around the ability of this business. And it's unlimited. So I'm going to show you a projection that we've built. So we launched this idea, this projection, which is a 5-year plan. The activity required to follow this plan requires you to connect 3 people in your first month. That gets you qualified in the business. And then every consecutive month, you only have to connect 2 people a month, right? So it's very moderate activity. We've got people that do that in a day. But at 2 people a month, after 6 months, you'll be earning about R2,500 a month. One of the things that we want to achieve at DuePoint is not only the ability to allow people to earn money out of this business, but it's also to create a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift is a shift in thinking. We want people to think differently about the money that they can produce here at DuePoint. If you start earning R2,500 out of DuePoint and you just spend all of it, are you wealthier at the end of the month? No. You've just got nicer shoes on, or you're going to nicer or lunches more frequently, right? The social impact that we're trying to create, I mentioned it earlier, is that we're trying to create wealthy individuals through this business. And so we have to educate people about leveraging money towards wealth. One of the first steps that you can take towards wealth creation is getting rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Debt is crippling. Wealthy people don't have debt. Typically, you can get more complicated about it, but generally, as a wealthy individual, you don't want debt. It cannot cripple you. You have to leverage money to put yourself in a better position next month. And here's a lovely example that we have. Here's an example of someone who's got R1 million bond on their house. Over 20 years at Prime Plus 2, it's about 11,500 Rand a month that you're paying as an installment into that bond. 6 months later at DuePoint, you're earning this little 2,500 Rand. If you put that 2,500 Rand into your bond as an additional payment, it'll save you nearly 900,000 Rand in interest payments that you would have made to the bank. It'll allow you to pay that house off in 11.5 years instead of 20 years. Right? This is information that you need to know because you're only putting 20% into your bond, but it's reducing your bond by nearly 50%. Right? Leverage the money that you make in this business. At month 12, you're earning 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand a year. After 24 months, you'll be close to 30,000 Rand. After 3 years, 36 months, you're close to 50,000 Rand a month. Right? And this increases and increases as your channel grows. After 48 months, you'll be close to 70,000 Rand a month. And after 5 years, 60 months from today, you could be earning about 85,000 Rand a month, which is R1 million in annual recurring income. Who believes that's even possible, that you can make R1 million annually on your side job? I would love to be in the room when you tell your boss that you're earning more from your side job than what he's paying you. Especially if the amount's more than he's making or she's making, right? Get that boss into DuePoint very quickly. But this is all academic, so no problem. If you come to me and say, Rob, that's a wonderful formula, but it's just academic, it's a theory. I'll say, yes, it is just a theory, right? You can do a lot less than that. Majority of the people that join this business don't do anything with it, unfortunately. But we've got people that do more than this. Like I said, we've got people that connect 1 or 2 people a day in this business. And we invite people up onto stage every single month to share their experience with people. And we don't coach them. I actually tell them, give everyone the good news and the bad news about this business, because I don't want people making the mistake of romanticizing entrepreneurship. This business is about becoming an entrepreneur. It comes with a lot of accountability, unfortunately, right? I want you to have a realistic outlook with regards to what's expected in this business if you want change in your life. So this month we invited 2 people up onto stage. We've got hundreds of people on our YouTube channel, so if you want to go watch that testimony, you're very welcome to go watch that. Elaine is from, I think, Pretoria. Yes, she's been in the business for 6 months. The value of her channel sitting at 2,500 Rand a month. She's introduced, the bottom number there, 19 people onto her first point. Those 19 people are translated into 47 people over the time period. She's got 4 points in her business, right? So she's tracking the 3 + 2 quite nicely. So everyone's going to be different. We've got Andile down in KZN, been in the business 7 months. The value of his channel is twice that. 5,000 Rand a month, but he's only introduced 13 people. What could be the difference? Maybe he's brought stronger people onto his first point. Maybe he's got someone on his first point that is shooting the lights out in the business, right? Bring strong people on your first point. If you want this business to be easier for you, be more discerning about who you bring into your business, right? And so we've got thousands of people joining this business every single month, and everybody is different. You are at liberty to decide what you want out of this business. No one is going to dictate to you what we give you at the end of the month. And so when I say you take control of your income for the first time in your life, I mean it in all accountability, right? Is that you get to dictate. If you want more money out of this business, put more first pointers into the business. If you want a better quality channel, bring more quality individuals onto your first point. On top of this, we've got a rewards program. So that was the returns program. That's what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every single month. But we've got a rewards program on top of this for you. So as your channel starts to grow in size, there are all these milestones, we call them ranks, that you get to achieve where we've got additional benefit for you, right? And they vary in the rewards program. So the first notable one is a tool that we give you at rank 5. This is still very early on in your channel building. We give you a fancy little USB drive. It's got all our video collateral on there, and the little device plugs into everything. Mobile phones, tablets, computers, TVs, so that you can prospect more easily. You can show people the DuePoint business easily. At rank 7, we spend 17,000 Rand getting 1 set of business cards manufactured for you. I don't say printing because there's no ink on these business cards. There's only gold. Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Because when you go into a meeting and you put a 17,000 Rand business card on the table, who do you think becomes the most important person in the room? Damn right you become the most important person in the room. You could be sitting across from the CEO of De Beers and your business card is 100 times more expensive than his or hers, right? This business is about first impressions. This is something you will learn about entrepreneurship. If you want to run a professional business, you have to dress professionally, speak professionally, behave professionally, treat people professionally. The business cards fall into that picture. At rank 9, this is one people get very excited about. And that's because it's a very visceral reward. You really get to enjoy this one because it is our rank 9 international conference where we get to take you and your family to our international conference every single year for the rest of your life. When you get to this point, you've got 1,000 products in your qualified channel, and you get to tell your family that you're taking them business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort every single year, 7 days, all expenses paid trip. Some people don't know what all expenses paid trip means. The car will come pick you up at your house, take you to even if you live in Cape Town, it doesn't matter where you live, we will get you to OR Tambo, right, at our cost. We're going to the business class lounge. You can eat all the food, drink as much as you want in the business class lounge. There's no limit. Business class flights to the island resort that we're going to, 5-star, all expense paid trip. Your kids can finish the bar fridge every single night. You know the bar fridge in the hotel? The one you say to the kids, if you touch anything in there, I'm going to kill you. Right? Because the Snickers is about 50 Rand. They can clean the mini bar out every single day. It gets replenished every single morning. By the time you come back from that trip, you will have realized that you didn't spend a cent. And that's what we do every single year for our Rank 9. So take a look. We've documented our trips because I want you to imagine yourself here. So I said to the folks last night, take your shoes off if you want to. Pretend that you can feel the sand in your feet, between your toes. Now imagine doing that every single year. Every single year. And it's up to you how quickly you want to do it. You only need 1,000 products in your qualified channel. Spamandla did it in 5 months. Someone's going to break that record. It's going to be you. You can take 10 years to get to rank 9 because we don't reset you. If your channel just grows a little bit every single month, you'll get there eventually. But again, the accountability falls upon your shoulders. How quickly do you want to get to rank 9? 2 ranks later at rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying you a brand new car. Which car do you want in your garage? No debit order at the end of the month. No debit order at the end of the month. We buy the car cash in your name, done. There's no T's and C's. There's no DuePoint stickers on the side of the car. It's your car. This is the rewards program. We're at rank 11. The program goes up to rank 28. This is still early days. Early days. This has happened for wealth engineers in 2 years. I get very excited when I think about the prospect of wealth engineers that commit to this business and this process for 10 years. Where will those individuals be in 10 years' time? In 20 years' time? When we've got people coming up on stage for rank 20 rewards, rank 25 rewards. So this is another one of the biggest benefits here at DuePoint. But there's a third aspect to our business, and that's the necessity of protecting our assets and our wealth. If you go look at a wealthy individual, they might have spent 10, 20, 30 years building up assets and value in their lives. They are certainly not going to lose it when some tragic event happens. So you'll go look at them. They'll have a portfolio of investment and insurance products to mitigate the risk that we all experience, right? So look at our products through that lens, because the products have necessity in our lives. Our first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment and an insurance product rolled into one. It only costs 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund in your name. You've got full access to that fund. You can withdraw it at any stage. And the insurance aspect is 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. Another aspect of our products is that we don't discriminate against age or health. We try to cover everybody at the same cost, right? Our Wealth Guard product is only personal accident death cover. It's going to cost you only 249 Rand a month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. You can be anywhere between the ages of 18 and 70. I think this product's 18 to 75 years of age. You can be 65, diabetic, heart condition. The premium's still the same. You still get a full amount of cover. Then we've got Family Wealth. It's our funeral cover product for the whole family. 299 it starts at. You get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members. As the principal member, you also get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So upon your death, we will pay out up to 10,000 Rand for any liability or outstanding debt that you might have. You can increase the cover to 30,000 Rand a month, as well as up to 10 family members. Right? Again, wonderful flexibility. You've got to get in on this product before the age of 70, but the price is the same, and then it's whole of life. So once you're in on the product, you can be 100 and you're still covered in this product. Right? So wonderful product in Family Wealth. And then finally, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points is only 299 Rand a month, and what it does is it offers you discounts and services from the businesses that we've partnered with. Our aim is to reduce your monthly expenditure through this product, right? So we've partnered with a whole bunch of companies that we think people spend money on every single month. Restaurants, hotels, data. We've got car manufacturers. We've got online retailers. We've got groceries, right? So if you engage in these businesses, you will reduce your monthly expenditure. Cell C is a brand new partner. They've just signed on between 10 and 20%. That's a massive amount for a telecoms company to offer us. Between 10 and 20% off airtime and data. All right, so those are our 4 products. They are straightforward products. They are available to everybody. No discrimination against your age or your health status, right? And these products, the necessity that they have is to protect our value in the assets and the wealth that we've built. So there's more information on our website. I've got 2 incentives for you. So just to give you a smack on the bottom this month to get you running in the business. Our first incentive is for March only. So it's a March incentive. We call it our March Wealth Quest. It's called Let Me Entertain You. If you can connect 20 people on your first and second point this month who take the Wealth Points product, we will give you an extra 10,000 Rand at the end of the month. Just like that. 1 month of business with an extra 10 grand check waiting for you. Right? So that's this month's Wealth Quest. That has to be done over March. And then we've got a big incentive for you. So this is a long-term incentive. Well, not really long-term, but long-term as in 365 days. If you can connect 365 people in the next 365 days, there is about 1.27 million Rand in value waiting for you. Who would like to become a millionaire in 12 months? Everyone, right? Oh, it's such an easy question to answer that. How many people are willing to speak to, let's say, 5 people a day? If I said to you, go out and speak to 1,800 people in the next 12 months. So 1,800 people, go speak to them in the next 12 months. It doesn't matter if they say yes or no, whether they tell you to hamba or it doesn't matter. You speak to the 5 people every day. That's 1,800 people in the next 12 months. I'll give you R1,000,000. Sounds simple, right? So why don't we do it? This is available for everybody. Doesn't matter whether you've got corporate experience or not, whether you're 18 or 70 years old. It doesn't matter how high you are in your company. It doesn't matter what your boss thinks of you. It doesn't matter what your spouse thinks of you. It doesn't matter what your children think of you. It's available for everybody. Speak to 5 people a day. Sign one up. There's 1.28 million rand waiting for you, right? Because this process will get you to about rank 13. So you've got the holiday, you've got the car, you've got a 20,000 rand check, a 50,000 rand, a 75,000 rand check. You've got the car. Rank 14, there's a Mediterranean cruise, 5-star, waiting for you every single year when you get to rank 14. There's more cars waiting for you in the rewards program. You are earning nearly 50,000 rand a month by this stage, and we give you a bonus check. Because you did it in the time frame, we give you a bonus check of 365,000 rand cash. Imagine that SMS coming in from your bank. DuePoint has just deposited 365,000 rand into your account. You're going to go running down the road screaming. Right? It's 12 months away. You all agreed to speak to 1,800 people in 12 months for this. I'm excited to see who takes up the cudgel and goes for it. Right? So that's our long-term incentive. So what is the decision? The decision you all made was, yes, I want it. But the decision I want to find out about is who can fit DuePoint into their life from today. That's the real question. Everybody wants, I want to be a millionaire, I want a Porsche, I want a Ferrari. I've got a long list of things I want. Right? That's not really a decision. That's desire. The decision, the practical decision is, how do I change my week? How do I change my life? How do I change my habits that now DuePoint is included in everything I do? How do I actually speak to 5 people a day? Do I even know what to say? What happens if they all say no? Can I get better at what I say? Those are the practical considerations you have to decide upon when you join this business. Because I want, at the end of the day, I want to see you come to me and say, today I'm wealthy. I don't have any debt. I don't have any debit orders coming off my account. When the kids started school, I had stationery, I had brand new uniforms, and I was the parent that paid for 1 year up front for my school fees. Think about how that changes you as a person. That's what we're trying to achieve in this business, right? A little bit of background on our business. So as I said, DuePoint is a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. You might not know them because they've never dealt with consumers before. They've been around for nearly 70 years, but they've only dealt with other financial businesses. So they're what we call a business-to-business company, right? But for the first time through DuePoint, we are now speaking to consumers, to the public. But I want you to go do a background check on us and Constantia, because today has to form the first step in building belief in this business. Because if you're going to go out and be a proponent of DuePoint, people are going to look you in the eye and they're going to have to see the belief that you have in this business, the trust. Our aspiration is to create long-term relationships with people. And that can only be built on trust and credibility, right? We often say to people, we always deliver on our promises. That you will know about DuePoint once you join us. You will know that if we say something, if we say we're going to give you 365,000 rand check, you better believe you'll get that check if you do the work that's required. So go do a background check on us, check out our website. That's the FSP number that we operate under. As I said, we are a registered insurance company. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. We are audited every year. We're regulated by the FSCA. These are all feathers in our cap where you can look at a business like this and say, I'm proud to have partnered with this company. All right, so credibility, very important. A little reminder, if you want to build your business in the Eastern Cape, I'm going down to Port Elizabeth. There you can see on the 11th of May. This is opportunity for you to let me help you build channels in the Eastern Cape. Who would like money, income coming out of the Eastern Cape? Who would like a national business? I've got a national channel, not just a Gauteng channel. I've got a national channel. This is how we do it. You make a list of everyone you know in the Eastern Cape, and you contact as many people as possible, and you register them on our website, or through the app, right, on your mobile phone. Out of the 100 that you invite, only 40 will arrive. That's human nature. But know that. You invite 100, only 40 will arrive. So don't invite one and then cry when the one doesn't arrive. You invite 10, 3 or 4 will come. You invite 100, 30 or 40 will come. But out of the 30 or 40 will come, at least half will join your business. Right? This is how we build channels. So make note of the date and start making your list today. Even if you don't know people in the Eastern Cape, you find out someone who knows people in the Eastern Cape. You make a plan. And with that, we are done. My wish for everybody watching the presentation now over the live stream is that you have a prosperous year. What is it going to take to have a prosperous year? Are you going to sit back and hope the economy suddenly changes? Hope that your boss gives you a raise? Right? Those things aren't going to happen. That's why we're sitting here today, right? But I want you to make the decision today, how do you fit DuePoint into your life? Even if you have to have a family meeting tonight with the family to say, listen here, this is what we're doing from now on. You just show them the Mauritius video. They will all be on board, I promise you. If you say to them, I'm taking you to Mauritius, if we do this business, they'll push you out the door and say, go speak to people. So that is my wish. By the end of the year, I want you to be on Facebook saying 2019 was fantastic. How many people are going to be able to say that? I want everybody at DuePoint to be able to say that. That is my wish for you. Thank you. Good luck.